We're now going to turn to somebody else, James Noble. Well, James Noble comes at this from a slightly different tack. James, the chef, came to Thailand as a chef, and he's moved out of the kitchen and into the farm, designing farms, boutique farms. And he's currently co-founder of an 800 Rai farm called Origin, the boutique farm in Chiang Mai. James, are you with us?
I am, and not only am I with you, David, I'm in great company. Gentlemen, I didn't realise there were so many of us out there, which makes me feel proud.
Excellent, excellent. James, tell us a little bit about Origin, the boutique farm. You know, because you basically put it together from nothing, from what I understand. Just tell us a little bit about that process and some of the decisions that you've made as a chef, coming at it from a slightly different perspective.
Sure. Origin Farm is a joint venture with the Banyan Tree Group, and they approached me in my small restaurant farm in Hoi Hin in Thailand and asked me if we could do something together on the same lines of what we were doing currently, but with the chef involved, as opposed to making a farm for a specific resort. So what we did as Origins, we decided that we would generate a farm that would be available to every chef in Thailand. So hotels and small restaurants can rent space on our farm, so in theory have their own farm without getting themselves dirty, sweaty, hot and bothered, okay, which we do on a daily basis. So what this then does, it enables chefs to grow specific products for their specific outlets. So whether you're a Michelin restaurant in Bangkok or a street food vendor that can't get a supply of a specific historical product that's been outdated and not grown anymore, you can approach Origins, and Origins will grow that specific product on your behalf for a set price.
Okay.
You got
okay.
that?
And yeah, absolutely. Tell us a little bit about the scale of the farm. So the farm is so you've got 800 Rai of tunnels that chefs rent on the farm, or is it so what's the overview of it?
Okay, so the property is vast and it has different climates through mountain ranges, different soil types through low and flat land. We have different types of growing, controlled environments, hydroponic environments, natural traditional growing methods. So if you wanted a specific item, say for instance, that is from another country, say it's from India and a specific chili, we would then go and research that chili, find that seed, and then create an environment to grow that imported product within Thailand. So it then becomes indigenous as opposed to unindigenous. So what that does then is you then completely cut out your air miles. Your air miles, let's be honest, I'm a chef. There's lots of prima donnas around, and we didn't really care about where the ingredients came from because we would just mark it up accordingly. So if you wanted a specific product flown from Brazil, then you will have a specific product grown from Brazil. If you wanted a product that was out of season, it can be in season because you have the world at your doorstep. And what we're saying now is, let us grow that for you. Let us become your farmer. Let us offer you space and advice on the products that you want, and then change your menu accordingly every 3 months to your space. So you can change in 90 days notice, we can change your tunnel from A to B to C product within 90 days.
So is this what you mean by the concept sustainable retained farming?
Retained farming is we become your farmer. So obviously a lot of properties don't have the luxury of the properties that we've discussed today. So if you're an urban city resort or a 5-star hotel on Sukhumvit Road, then you can then have your own farm. It's just managed by us. So we get the chef involved, we get the chef engaged. As Jason said, you just need to get the owner and the GM on board. And once they're on board, the PR and marketing value, the transparency of the journey of the product becomes really, really worthwhile. Not only that, the price becomes a fixed cost. So if you're renting a certain amount of space, your food cost becomes fixed as opposed to variable. So you know from your specific amount of space, you are going to harvest a specific weight of product. Then you can control your cost a whole lot better.
So it's not really indigenous products that you're farming. It's mainly non-indigenous products.
Non-indigenous, because this is where the damage is done, David. People are flying things in to create menus. You import a chef, he only knows a specific product. He only knows a different strand of tomato or a specific, herb or spice. Now, this can be grown if you then create the environment. However, we will not create an environment that grows products in an unethical way. So the banyan tree and myself would not air condition the room to grow rhubarb. Rhubarb doesn't grow in Thailand. We shouldn't be using rhubarb in Thailand. There's many options. So what we'll do is we'll advise chefs, GMs, alternative products.
And it's very interesting. What are some of the more unusual requests that you've had over the years? Because I know this is not your first farm, but I mean,
no, this is not my first rodeo, David. And I've heard quite a few. I've heard quite a few people ask for some weird and wonderfuls, and most things can be achieved, but as long as it's low carbon, as long as it's not damaging to the environment, we'll give it a go. So when chefs ask for a rentable space, we then also free of charge offer R&D, research and development space free of charge, so we can play with things. And once we're playing with things for them and creating options for them, there's no cost involved.
Right. Can you drop a few names for us, James, if you will? Some of the restaurants, levels of restaurants, types of restaurants that you're supplying, other than hotels.
Sure.
Well, in and out of hotels.
We supply all of the Banyan Tree Group because we work with the Banyan Tree hand in hand, and their ethics and ethos and mission and mantras are fantastic. They fit with ours completely. So we supply specific items for the Banyan Tree Group all the way down to Krabi, Phuket, future options up here north in Chiang Mai and the likes. Then we supply certain restaurants and certain names in Bangkok, from the Suring brothers to Paste, with Kunbi to Chef Chompon in Ahan. That we offer the Grand Erawan, we supply those, the new restaurant Igniv. And in total, I'm still very, very well connected with, obviously, culinary, because we are carrying 14 Michelin stars on our farm. Right. So we have we have a Michelin-starred farm. Get that.
Excellent. Just quickly, a couple of other things. I understand you are going to be putting a restaurant on the farm too. How's that playing out?
Yeah, we can't. I've seen some slides today of everybody's failures, and gosh, I've had more than most, I think. Building properties on farmland is very difficult because of the soil. It's very soft. You have to build within the environment, as opposed to a design that somebody's given you who's never set foot on a farm. So we're doing a pop-up restaurant for a couple of years in Chiang Mai itself, called Waiting for May. This is quite personal to me. My wife is Kun May, and I wait for her every single day to bring products to the restaurant. So there could be an expletive, waiting for beep May, because sometimes she's late. But then as farmers, we're also waiting for May in Thailand because it's the start of the rainy season. So we're always, as farmers, looking for May to see how the heavy the rain's going to be, how much water we can save for the following dry season. And then we have a change of cycle of crops from underground crops to overground green crops May onwards. So yeah, the restaurant's fantastic, and the restaurant is a complete white affair. It has absolutely no menu. You come in, you sit down, we give you a piece of blank paper, which is AKA the menu, and you write on that menu your likes, dislikes, and allergies. This goes back to the kitchen, and from there on in, you're in our hands. We then serve you till you tap out and can eat no more. Yeah.
Sounds like fun. I look forward to my invitation. Hey, James, I've got a couple of other quick things. Because we're running a little bit out of time. Just on a bigger picture. You've been in Thailand for some time, 10 plus years. But in terms of agri-tourism is still pretty much in its infancy. What is the potential of agri-tourism in Thailand and
Yeah, agro-tourism is
many other
fantastic.
countries that are tuning in.
It's absolutely fantastic. On the farm, obviously, we have 800 rye, and I don't think people realise how big 800 rye is until you stand in it and then realise that you've left your keys at the other end of it. You know, so it's huge. And to fill that space, we're developing a maize made out of maize, so a corn maize. Now, this is a non-destructive, sustainable tourist attraction where people can come and walk through 200 rye of grown mazes that change every 3 months. And what we do with the corn that's produced from the maize, we give it to the community who sell it. And then the stems of the corn we give to cattle to feed the cattle of the local community. Agro-tourism, especially in today's climate, people need to see where things come from. People need to get dirt between their toes, and people need to understand how hard it is to be a farmer.